Hola mi gente, attorney Francisco Gutierrez here. I grew up in the Anap Barrio. I've been practicing personal injury law since 1984. Experience makes a difference in the outcome of your case. As your neighbor, I've represented many families throughout the barrios of Arizona. If you've been injured by someone, why would you call a stranger? Give me a call. My staff and I will treat you like familia.
Buenas tardes, Ray Martinez with Arizona Barrio Stories, here in the Marcos de Niza Public Housing Projects where I grew up. I'm coming to you because we have a new segment that we're going to start about the Marcos, and like me, and like thousands of us that grew up here, you know, we want to hear your stories. And so, as some of you have known, I've told some of my story about growing up here and, you know, living down here, not too far from here, and where Harmon Park is, and the Recreation Center, which used to be here on the corner, and of course, Lowell School, which was the nucleus of the community, and where we all hung out in the afternoons after school and played ball. And of course, some of the memories that we want to hear from you about is like, you know, your teachers, whether it was Mr. Earl, or whether it was Mr. Speakman, or whether it was Mr. Rojas, or whether it was Mr. Sosa. You know, those teachers, Mr. Avila, you know, those teachers that made an impact on your life as you were growing up as a kid. And again, my family lived here for a few years, and again, you know, we transitioned out of here the summer, the year before the fall before my junior year in high school at North High. But today I come here and I take a look at the Marcos, and you know, obviously different families living here. And when I walk here, you know, of course the first thing I look at the signs on the wall, which depict like the familias that they lived here on 3rd Avenue, their apartment numbers. And then if you go farther down west here, then you know you're getting into Harmon Park and the Harmon Park Library, and you know the tennis courts, the swimming pool. And then when you come this way, of course, you know, and this is what's good about the stories that we hope that we get and that you'll tell, and that is of your memories of the old Lowell School, the school that was torn down, but yet was the nucleus, and this school is still the nucleus of this community. And there's a lot of stories to be told. By the Sol, you know, which used to be right there in the Barrio Youth Project, you know, which were, you know, programs that we benefited from as kids. You know, one of the most important programs we had here growing up, and especially for kids that were single parent and so on, was the Marcos de Niza Recreation Center here at 1305 South 3rd Avenue here. And how many familias remember their moms or whatever having to come and pay the rent here with Mr. Camargo, who retired from the city of Phoenix, and he was here forever, and I remember him you know, when I was a kid, you know, but this is where, you know, your parents came to pay the rent here, and this is where we would go to the Marcos de Niza Recreation Center. We would check out balls, footballs, basketballs, and then we'd go over across the street to Lowell School and play flag football, basketball, whatever. And then who doesn't remember, you know, David Topete, the Hatchet? You know, he's the one that inspired a lot of us youngsters, we were young kids, to get into pickup basketball, and you know, he would always organize games here at Lowell School, and for some others, you know, they got to travel and go play basketball in other barrios. You know, I remember us going to Golden Gate, you know, going to other barrios to play basketball and stuff, you know. But I want, you know, my comments today are more to inspire you to start, you know, hopefully thinking about, you know, when you lived here, you know, how were you impacted? You know, how was your family impacted? You know, and how, you know, what are your memories? You know, and if you're like I am in a lot of ways, you know, these were the best days of my life. You know, these were the funnest days. You know, I always say, you know, we didn't know that we were poor. You know, all we knew is that, you know, somebody paid for me to play Pot Warner football here for, you know, 6th, 7th, 8th grade. You know, my mom didn't have the money, but, you know, we all still got to participate. And then for some of you that remember, how many remember the city of Phoenix bringing the bus right here in front of this office here, and the city of Phoenix, and then you'd have to bring your permission slips, and then they would take us to go see the Phoenix Suns at the Coliseum and the Roadrunners back then. We didn't know none about hockey, but we would always go down there to watch the hockey players, because they tended to always get into it with each other, and it was kind of funny to watch. But I'm sorry, but even today I don't understand hockey that much. But it was those are great memories, you know. And again, seeing Connie Hawkins, the Flying Dutchman, Dick Van Arsdale, and you know, a lot of the great players back then, and I'm talking 72, 73, when they would come here and take us to see the ball games, you know. And again, you know, we all have a favorite teacher, you know. I've always said to you, you know, Mr. Rojas is my favorite teacher, you know. He was my teacher and my coach. You know, some things never change, you know. When I'm here in the Marcos and I come to visit, you know, there are a lot of sentimental memories, you know, about the Familia and about, you know, Mondo coming home from the service to visit or whatever. But this is where I actually grew up, at 1307 Solomon Parkway, apartment 524. And this is where it started. This is where we ran around the yards here, and you know, back then Harmon Park was open, so we would just walk into the park, and you know, the Madrids lived on this side, and the Lovett family lived next door to us, you know. And so, you know, and over here was the monkey bars and the merry-go-round, and each apartment in the alley had those. And then, you know, the Buchanans, which another family, they lived across Yuma there, and so we were always running around visiting and everything. But you know, the biggest story is for me in talking about this is actually always coming home and, you know, seeing my mom and everybody, you know, when we lived here, you know. Now back then, you know, I got to tell you, you know, we didn't have AC. You know, now all the apartments have, you know, air conditioning, you know, which was, you know, I remember Mama, you know, wetting sheets and hanging them up in the windows and opening the window a little bit so it would cool down inside, you know. But the frijoles and the tortillas fresh every day, you know, that was what it was about, you know. And so every kid here, boy and girl, you know, they have aspirations and dreams to be somebody, you know, and I was one of those kids. And I know there's a lot of you out there, and that's why I want to continue to, you know, kind of stress, you know, tell your story, you know, I want to hear it, you know. In this new segment about the Marcos, you know, I would sure like to, you know, get some contacts, some of you, you know, calling in, you know, emailing, whatever. And I would love to get together with you and hear your story, because there's a lot of good stories out there, and it's a part of our history. It's something that we need to preserve for those generations that continue to come.
Hello, my name is David Adame, President and CEO of Chicanos por la Causa. Today, I would like to announce our brand new exciting partnership with Arizona Barrio Stories. Arizona Barrio Stories is a key part of our community and in line with what we believe in, restoring Chicano history and making sure that we continue to celebrate Mexican traditions, history, family, and culture. Arizona Barrio Stories will play an important role in bringing you important stories about Chicanos por la Causa and the founders who helped build Chicanos por la Causa, but also other key important stories about our Chicano community here in Arizona. We look forward to a wonderful partnership, and thank you for your continued support.